Welcome to Run With It, BC's only running, fitness, and health show. On this month's episode, I was in conversation with Tim Hopkins, race director of the Vancouver Sun Run. But first, let's go to our segment on Doctor's Corner. Check this out.
People are living longer because of genetics, also eating healthy and following a healthy lifestyle. In other words, how important it is to have good oral health, especially with seniors?
Extremely important. I mean, as people get on into their golden years, you want to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and certainly having teeth will actually enable you to get that proper nutrition that you would need. We find that with poor oral health, there's actually an increased correlation with cardiovascular disease, stroke, hypertension, diabetes, things like that. So having a good, healthy mouth will actually lead to a good, healthy rest of your body.
And it's a strong indicator that there's something wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not just seniors, it's for everyone
For sure.
to check. And also to there's I guess 1,300 Canadians have oral cancer?
Yeah, I think the statistic, Christine, is that 0.5 to 1% of the general population will experience some form of oral cancer there, right? So, frequent visits to the dentist will, hopefully be able to allow us to detect that a little earlier. I know in my practice, I actually have a light called a Velscope, which was developed here in Vancouver, British Columbia, and this light allows us to screen for oral cancers. It's a blue light, it's painless, you don't just kind of shine in your mouth, you kind of look at all the things in your mouth, and if something is not healthy or a little different or it's changed, it'll show black on the Velscope, so a dentist would be able to screen for early changes in tissues in the mouth.
Technology has advanced in dentistry.
Sure has, absolutely.
Yeah, so tell us some of your work that you've done with patients, with seniors.
Oh, sure. I mean, I had this one lady, I remember she came to my office from Seattle. She had very, very poor teeth. She had really bad gums as well, and a lot of her teeth were loose and they were falling out. And I ended up removing all her teeth and putting implants in her mouth to support her dentures, and she's just ecstatic right now. She's able to resume a normal, healthy diet. She's enjoying foods like corn on the cob and apples, things that she hasn't enjoyed in years. She actually texted me and told me as such. So that was actually a very, very heartwarming story. Some of the other things that I do for my patients, Christine, is I make visits to long-term care facilities for patients that do ask me if they happen to have elderly parents that are not able to come to see me regularly. I've actually taken some of my tools and done some dental work in the long-term care facility. Nothing really complex, of course. I mean, I've extracted teeth, or I've adjusted their dentures or their implants and things like that there too, while they're in the facility, so they don't have to make a day trip to take their parents from the long-term care facility to my office and then transport them back.
Not many dentists do that.
Well, I mean, these people are very special to me, and if they ask me to do it, I'm more than happy to make some time to do it for them. So, yeah.
So, what are some of the concerns seniors have with their teeth? Like you mentioned, like missing teeth. But
missing teeth is one, because of course, missing teeth will prevent you from actually functioning properly there, right? In terms of eating or speaking or aesthetics and things like that there too. So that's a concern. Another concern for seniors is gum disease and gum recession. As we get older, your gums will recede and expose the softer root portion there of your teeth, and also limited or diminishing manual dexterity and some medications that you may be taking for other illnesses and ailments that may dry your mouth or affect saliva flow and things like that there too. So lots of things can affect us as we get older. So it's really, really important to have a dentist stay on top of these things throughout your life. But
throughout your life, and it's also too that some of your patients might have asked you, well, should I get dentures or should I get implants? And it's a choice they make, but it's always best to have your teeth.
Of course, if you can manage it, if you can afford it, it's always best to have in your mouth what God put there in the first place. I mean, try as we might, we cannot replace a natural tooth. So certainly if you have the means and the capabilities to actually save and maintain your teeth, it's probably a good idea. Trying to wear dentures to try to eat, try to speak and things like that, it's a much different sensation. People lose a lot of confidence when they don't have their natural teeth anymore. It's it's a big psychological change if that were to occur.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
having not your teeth could, not have that confidence. It's like you do everything right, you're following a healthy lifestyle and you have poor teeth. So having your teeth fixed gives you that extra confidence.
Absolutely, and you have your teeth fixed. It also will boost your ability to enjoy the things that life has to offer in terms of foods and speech and conversations and things like that with other people.
Seniors may say or ask, why should I bother? I'm old. Why?
Well, it's all about quality of life, Christine. It's all about your quality of life. I mean, being able to do the things we do on a daily basis and enjoy ourselves is enhancement of your quality of life. So if you have healthy mouth, healthy smile, healthy body, it all ties in with the whole bigger picture that we have for what I hope we have for all people. So yeah.
So what are some tips that seniors can follow? Like see a dentist once or twice a year?
Twice a year, brush and floss your teeth if you can, eat a healthy lifestyle, or eat a healthy diet rather, and try to limit your sweets. And
It's hard to do sometimes.
Well, absolutely, but I'm not saying live like a hermit, but go enjoy yourself and indulge once in a while, but just everything in moderation, of course.
What about brushing your teeth? Like, it's preferred brushing your teeth twice a day.
I would say so. I mean, that's what I would do. I wouldn't ask any of my patients to do any more than what I would do. So once in the morning, once at night is fine. I mean, I don't. You don't have to cart a toothbrush all over the place with you. If you don't brush your teeth in the middle of the day, I really don't think it's going to kill you or hurt you or cause any concerns. But certainly, although I would say that if you do have other ailments like dry mouth, things like that too, an extra session during the day of brushing really wouldn't help you if you have suffer from an affliction like that or something.
Mouthwash?
Mouthwashes are good. All right, just be careful. The mouthwashes actually do have a little bit of alcohol in them, so that tends to dry the inside or lining of your mouth. So just be careful not to use too much, or if you use quite a bit, kind of maybe just dilute it down a little bit. So.
Good information, and thank you very much for coming on the show, Dr. Wang. And
appreciate it, Christine.
We'll have you come back.
Love to be here.
Thank you, and we'll be right back after this break. Joining me is Tim Hopkins. He's the race director of the Vancouver Sun Run. Welcome.
Welcome to our office.
So Tim, you've been the race director for 14 years.
Yes.
Does it seem that long?
No, it doesn't. Every year it's got something different. There's different experiences, different sponsors, different participants. There's always something new. There's always excitement year after year, and watching the registration numbers build from when we open registration November 1st through until we close registration on this year. I think it's the 20th of April. I think 2008, when we hit our peak registration numbers, we were at 59,000. It was the second largest running event in North America that year. We really built up over that year. It just got more and more exciting as we passed 50,000, then we passed 55,000. It was just really exciting to see those numbers climb. That was a monumental year for us. We are Canada's largest starting line, the largest running event in Canada. And we're, the third largest 10K in North America. 42,000 people would be amazing again. If we can beat that, it would be phenomenal. We've had great weather compared to last year. Lots of people out running already, lots of people training. Our in-training clinics are starting next week, and it's just building and getting more and more exciting. 17 bands along the course, so lots of entertainment. We have elite athletes that head out early, right at the beginning, but you basically have athletes of all abilities, people who walk. We've had people over the age of 90 participate in the event. We have age categories for all the different male and female participants. We have a wheelchair division, both racing and non-competitive wheelchairs. So there's something for everyone, including Nordic walkers, you name it.
And you get your name in print.
You would get your name in print, yes, of course, in the Vancouver Sun. On the Monday following, April 23rd, we do an article producing everyone's name that participates, whether it's in the mini Sun Run or the 10K.
Yeah, the mini Sun Run, for kids.
Yes.
And that's exciting.
Yeah, it's actually for anyone who doesn't want to go out and do the full 10K. There's lots of people that are either injured and not ready to do the full 10K, or people that just want to go out and have a little fun run. It's more than just the kids. It's families, it's kids, it's a stepping stone to people who want to get in shape, and they just can do the 2.5K to start, and then they build from there. Run-in training program's been going on over 20 years. It's run by SportMed BC, and they have clinics all over Lower Mainland, including a few in the interior, where people can go out and actually learn to run faster. They have walking programs. Basically, it's trying to get people to feel comfortable going out and doing a 10K and being ready to do it. So it's a 13-week program. They do talks on nutrition. They do talks on running. It's a great way to start your running career. And many people who do those clinics go on from 10Ks to doing half marathons, and in fact, some of the people that do the in-training clinics end up becoming leaders down the road when they get more and more into running. It really is about the experience. It's less about having your personal best time with that many people on the start line year after year. It makes it very difficult to go and have your personal best trying to run around people. We often get people saying, "Are you sure your course is 10K? It says here I ran 10.5K, but when we measure our course, we measured, of course, in the shortest line. When you're with that many people trying to run, it's very hard to run that shortest line. So it really is about the fun. It's about going out there and just enjoying yourself. Many people call the Sun Run the kickoff to the running season in Vancouver. So it's a great opportunity to get your sort of fitness level kick-started for the year. As I said, it's Canada's largest start line, so it's always one of my favorite times to sit at the start and look back up Georgia Street towards Seymour and see 40,000 plus people on that start line getting ready to go. We have 3 bands playing. We do the national anthem every year. It's just a real empowering experience. It's a powerful moment, and if you haven't experienced it, it's one of those things that you need to experience. We've had over 1 million runners participate in the event since its inception, and just seeing that start line every year is a real wow event.
It is a wow, and there's people all across Canada and internationally coming to participate in the Sun Run.
Yeah, we have elite athletes that come across the country. We have people that we have school teams that have come from different provinces. We have Pacific Northwest runners that are coming up from Seattle. So there's lots of people that come and participate, basically from all over North America.
Yes, and Tim, the Sun Run promotes physical literacy, which is huge. So you have youth participating in school teams, corporate teams, solo. Yeah, it's just a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it really it was created to get people active and get people out and not necessarily to recognize the fastest runners all the time, but to recognize people for just making a commitment to living a healthy lifestyle. So fitness is such an important part of what the Sun Run is teaching people. Our school programs that we do, there's Winston Churchill School in Vancouver here that has over 680 runners last year.
Wow.
It's part of their PE curriculum. They were the largest team in the Sun Run last year. So that's kids from grade 8 to grade 12 that are learning about physical fitness and being healthy and living active lives. It's for everyone. It's not for one set group of runners. We want to encourage people of all sizes, shapes, running abilities. We have tons and tons of people who just come out and walk the event. It's their tradition. They come out with their whole family and they'll walk all 10K. It is really about participating and about being active at your level, not necessarily being the fastest runner. We do have elite athletes that come out and compete for a prize purse of over $20,000. But really, it is about the everyday runner and the everyday participant. We want them to come out and have a great time.
It's wonderful. And if people want more information, where can they go?
They can go to our website, VancouverSunRun.com. All the information is there, our registration. That's the best way to get a hold of us. Everything's online now.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tim.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Joining me is travel professional Al Glickman, and he's here today to talk about safety, travel tips, along with some running destinations that you may want to check out. Welcome to the show, Al.
Thank you, Christine.
So tell us how important it is for people to go on vacation or participate in a marathon is to have insurance and to be safe.
Okay, well, let's start with insurance. So for insurance, it's very important that you purchase travel insurance, because if you don't purchase travel insurance, it can cost you a lot of money, and you just won't be covered. You're out of luck, and in terms of if you have to make a claim.
So what other things too, when you are traveling, share with our viewers some safety tips.
Some safety tips. Okay, safety tips, it can lead to an unpleasant travel experience if you don't have proper safety. So one of the things that you look for on safety tips is to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. For instance, in my own case, I lost a couple of bags due to theft, and that happened in Costa Rica and Chile. One where the bag was stolen from a rented car, and the other one where I was eating lunch and the bag was stolen from me in Santiago, Chile. So on those cases, you have to be careful and you act accordingly.
Right, so it's not only when being careful of your baggage, but also being careful of your surroundings. And what about transfers?
Transfers, they're very important. The reason for that is they can lead to all kinds of problems if they're not properly handled. Here we're talking about transfers from the airport
right.
to the hotel, to the cruise ship terminal, to the train station, and to another transportation terminal. So what happens here with the transfers can be illustrated, what goes wrong with one of my experiences. I had pre-arranged transfers, and 2 times at airports I wasn't met by anybody. So these was at Cairo, Egypt, and at Siem Reap, Cambodia. And so I was able to make other arrangements by talking to local contacts. But transfers now are a problem that the airports are aware of. So when I was in Lisbon, Portugal, a few years back, I went to a designated central point at the terminal, met an airport official, and that person asked me where I wanted to go. I prepaid my taxi fare. That person gave me a special receipt, and I handed that to an authorized taxi driver. That worked well. That's sort of the way things will go now in transfers when airports are concerned about the customers.
What other, Al, some safety tips out there that people, like Safety Tips 101, they're going to run the Berlin Marathon. What would you suggest to them?
Okay. Well, Berlin Marathon is something that you should be aware, as I said, of the surroundings, be familiar with the place, and don't wear clothes that are too flashy. Fit in with the surroundings of people. Don't wear jewelry. Also, because you could be susceptible to pickpockets and other such characters.
Oh.
So another thing is on a trip, whether it's Berlin or somewhere else, many people are afraid of being lost at a destination, and what happens then is that's where nobody speaks English. That's not the case with Berlin. So in that instance, when you're lost, we have at Lloyd's Travel and Cruises a special 1-800 number for our clients. It's called 1-800-800-7252, where we can be called from anywhere in the world. Another aspect to look at is getting a card from the hotel with the name, the address, and the phone number, and that will be in the local language so that you can show it to a passerby and be directed back to the hotel. And lastly, you should always try and learn a few words in the foreign language before you leave from Canada. And in that case, you can, if you're lost, you can ask somebody for directions in their language and you'll get to your destination.
Right, now you're going to participate in the Mazatlan
Yes.
Marathon, and you've never been to Mazatlan. And what are some steps you would take? Get organized, know the area before
Yes.
going. get insurance,
Yes.
and be safe.
Yes.
You're a world traveler, travel professional, and also list some running destinations for us.
Okay. So here are 7 destinations where marathons are run. I've been to most of these destinations. Let's start with Barbados. Barbados is one that I visited last year, and a relative told me that they had taken a hike covering 3 hours on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. This was organized by the Barbados Hiking Association. It's at no cost, and they have the hikes at different levels of difficulty every Sunday at 6 in the morning and 3:30 throughout the year in the afternoon. So the next one is Berlin. So Berlin is one where the marathon is held in September, and there I suggest you visit the Charlottenburg Palace and Gardens. That place has a beautiful art collection, and the gardens are lovely, and in a park where you can jog around. It's closed on Mondays, and it's 10 minutes from the nearest train station. Looking at another marathon in Boston, where I believe you ran several years back. So Boston Marathon is held in April, and that one I suggest you walk the Freedom Trail. The Freedom Trail is 2.5 miles long. It runs from Boston Common to Bunker Hill, and has stops along the way that commemorate the events leading up to the American Revolution. So the one that I like of the stops is at Quincy Market, which includes Faneuil Hall Marketplace near the waterfront. Now, looking at New York Marathon, that marathon is held in November each year, and you should visit vast Central Park, where there's a reservoir running track of half an hour, and on your run you can see a beautiful skyline. Also in that Central Park there's an attraction that I wouldn't miss. It's called Strawberry Fields, a memorial to John Lennon of the Beatles. It's very meaningful. Moving on to Sacramento, where the marathon is run in December. There, my favorite place is the California State Railroad train museum. So that is the largest train museum in the United States, and they have several restored steam engines and cars, as well as a lovely dining car called the Santa Fe Cochiti. Recently they had a new attraction. It is a high-speed Shinkansen train, bullet train that is, a simulator from Japan, which interacts with the public. And so you can, by means of a video display, increase the speed of the train, slow it down, or start it up. So lastly, of these 7, there is the Mazatlan one you mentioned before, in a marathon, where I believe you've been to. So that marathon is a good marathon. One of the destinations for you to look at is El Faro Lighthouse. El Faro Lighthouse.
El
Faro Lighthouse, yeah. And El Faro Lighthouse is the tallest lighthouse in the world after Gibraltar, and it's reached by means of Cerro Creston, the tallest hill in Mazatlan. So you start at sea level, and then it leads you up to, on a paved path, to steps, some 334 steps that take you to the top of the hill. From there you get a spectacular view of the city of Mazatlan and the coast.
Well, you know, Al, if you buy medical coverage and you end up getting a toothache,
Yes.
should you look into changing your medical coverage? If you're traveling, you're on antibiotics from a toothache, and you're going to be running in the Boston Marathon, you already bought your medical coverage, but would that change, to look at it again?
Well, for future you should, but once you've departed, you have that coverage. So emergency medical coverage, which includes dental, is very important for you. Often there's a provision in the policy that requires your medical condition to be stable. So that means it's got to stay the same for a fixed number of months before you leave. So there's a big problem if you change your medication, for instance, a few days before you leave, you won't be covered. So you should always check to see that the policy does not have a staple provision in it. So another thing for emergency medical insurance is the United States. Traveling over there with its high medical costs, you should be wary. Always check the maximum amount of coverage that your policy has before you leave. Otherwise, you could have insufficient coverage that would lead you to paying thousands of dollars in medical fees that weren't covered under the policy. Here, I have a headline from yesterday's Daily Telegraph that says, grandmother gets £50,000 bill for hospital airlift from cruise ship to Mexico as bank insurance only covered Europe. She didn't read the policy, and as a result, she was out of pocket for a lot of money that they're now raising by crowdfunding.
That's good. So if people want more information, where can they go, Al? Yes.
Okay. Well, they can go to our website and you'll find my contact information. It's www.lloydstravel.com, and you look under Meet Our Crew, and I'm featured there. And so you look and see what I've done. It's got some contact information for me. And you can email me at al@lloydstravel.com, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Great information, as I said, and we'll be right back after this break.
Thanks for watching. If you have a question or comment about today's show, go to our website on the screen. Until next time, run with it.
Run With It is sponsored by Central City Brewery, Hype Hair, Mallory's Fashion Network, Skechers Performance Canada, and Vancouver Sun Run, presented by Ford.